The wedding invitation sat on my desk like a coiled snake. Cream-colored, embossed gold lettering, my daughter's name beneath a date 3 weeks away. I turned it over. Guest of honor, Richard Calloway. Richard. The man who moved into my bed 2 months after my wife told me she needed space to find herself. The man who consoled her through our difficult divorce. The man who held her hand at mediation while she demanded 70% of everything I'd built. I'd paid for Jessica's entire life, her private schools, her college, her first car, 23 years of ballet lessons, beach vacations, and bedtime stories. And now I wasn't even invited to walk her down the aisle. I picked up my phone. Her text was waiting. "Dad, it's complicated. Richard's been more of a father figure lately. Please understand." I stared at those words until they blurred. Then I smiled, because 3 months ago I'd received something else in the mail. A letter from my attorney. Routine estate planning, he'd said. But there was a clause I'd noticed, a very specific clause about the trust fund I'd established for Jessica when she was born. The one worth $1.2 million. The one she didn't know required my signature for early distribution. The one her wedding planner had already contacted me about. It started the day Claire asked for the divorce. We were in the kitchen, Sunday morning. I was making eggs. She didn't cry, didn't yell, just looked at me with eyes that had already left. "I need to be honest with myself," she said. "I haven't been happy in years." I asked if there was someone else. She hesitated. That hesitation told me everything. "Richard has been a good friend during a difficult time," she said carefully, "but this isn't about him." Except it was. 2 weeks later, he moved into our house, the one I'd been ordered to vacate, while she kept it in the settlement. Jessica called me crying, said her mom was finally happy, said I should try to be supportive. I was supportive. I signed every paper, paid every demand, attended every mediation with a calm face. And I watched. I watched Richard drive my car, sleep in my bed, play father to my daughter. I watched Jessica start calling him for advice instead of me. I watched my family become his. But I never stopped planning. The wedding was expensive. Destination ceremony, oceanfront venue, 200 guests. Jessica called me once, asked if I'd contribute something small since Richard's already covering most of it. I asked how much. $50,000 would be amazing, Dad. I know it's a lot, but... Consider it done, I said. She cried, thanked me, said she loved me, then reminded me Richard was walking her down the aisle. I smiled into the phone. That's wonderful, sweetheart. He deserves it. I hung up and opened my laptop. The trust fund had specific terms. I'd written them with my attorney when Jessica was 3 years old, long before Claire became a stranger. Distribution required 1. Jessica's written request, 2. My notarized approval, 3. Verification of use for significant life event. Her wedding planner had already submitted the request. All that remained was my signature. I didn't sign. Instead, I called my attorney. How long can I delay? Legally, until the event date. After that, she could challenge in court, but it would take months. Perfect. 3 days before the wedding, my phone rang. Jessica, frantic. Dad, there's a problem with the venue. They need the final payment today or they're canceling. The planner said the trust fund transfer didn't go through. I didn't approve it, I said calmly. Silence. What? I decided not to release the funds, Jessica. Not for this. Her voice cracked. Dad, the wedding is in 3 days. I'm aware. Why would you? Mom said you promised. I promised I'd consider it. I considered it. The answer is no. I heard Claire's voice in the background, sharp and rising. Then she was on the phone. David, you selfish bastard, this is your daughter's wedding. And Richard's her guest of honor. I'm sure he'll cover it. He's been such a good father figure. The line went dead quiet. Then Claire's voice, low and venomous. You're punishing her because of us. No, Claire, I'm teaching her the cost of choices. I hung up. Jessica called back an hour later, crying, begging. Please, Dad, I'm sorry. I thought Richard said you wouldn't mind. Richard doesn't get to decide what I mind. I'll put you in the ceremony. I'll ask you to walk with us. I don't want pity invitations. I want respect. She sobbed. I do respect you, Dad. You replaced me. Silence. You let him take my place, in your mother's bed, in my home, and now at your wedding. You thought I'd just pay for the privilege of watching. Dad, the money stays in trust until you turn 30, as originally intended. You'll survive. I heard Claire screaming in the background. I hung up. They postponed the wedding, blamed on logistical issues. Jessica didn't speak to me for 2 months. Then she called. Quiet. Sober. Richard left Mom, she said. Turns out he was seeing someone else the whole time. She found out last week. I said nothing. You knew, didn't you, Dad? Jessica whispered. That he wasn't, that he'd do this. I knew men like Richard don't change. They just find new beds. She cried softly. I'm sorry, Dad. I closed my eyes. I know. Can I see you? When you're ready to see me, not when you need something. I hung up gently. The trust fund remains untouched. Jessica turned 24 last month. 6 more years until she can access it without me. 6 more years to learn the difference between a father and a guest of honor. I don't lose sleep anymore. Some lessons cost money. The important ones cost everything.